Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about more about Miraculous Season 5. I'm going to give my opinions on a few episodes. Today we're going to be talking about multiplication, destruction, jubilation, and I think illusion. So I'm going to try to make this shorter because I don't want this to drag out. Because people were saying that my last video kind of dragged out a bit. So I'm going to try to make it shorter. Anyway, so in the episode Multiplication, it takes place after Marinette or Ladybug and Cat Noir defeat or take back the Rabbit Miraculous, and they try to search for Felix. And they go to his mother in London, and she said she doesn't know where he is, but she's not worried about him. And then after that, Marinette and Adrian go home or Ladybug and Cat Noir go home. And after that, Marinette was thinking about the Kwamis after Monarch took them. And Adrian goes back to his home. And Marinette calls Alia to tell her that she wants to have a sleepover. And then Adrian has two visions of Felix and Marinette, where Felix told him that they should play dress up, and which he only just did it just to manipulate him. And then Adrian ends up saying that he should have listened to Marinette and just stood up to his father. And then Marinette appears saying, "Why don't you tell me what you don't want to do?" And then Adrian goes up and stands up to his father, telling him he doesn't want to do this. And then after that, Gabriel gives him permission. And Marinette goes back to Alia telling her that she lost all the Miraculous. There's no more Rena, Rouge, or Carabas, and she made a big mistake all because she confused Adrian with Felix. And then after that, Adrian ends up calling, saying that he stood up to his father and that he would like to get to know each other better because he thinks that his life wouldn't be the same without Marinette, and that he would hope to do as much as she did for him. And so then it takes place the next day. After that, they both see each other again, and classes go on saying about what happened with Monarch, and now that he has 78% of the Miraculous, and that they should focus on what they need to do. And for the next 2 weeks, and nothing happens until it kind of goes and comes back. And Ladybug and Cat Noir transform, and they fight her off, knowing she has the power of the Mouse Miraculous, which is multitude. It multiplies into 12 versions of her. So they end up using the Lucky Charm, and it gives them a fishing rod, and the fishing rod her sword, and then that's the end of that. And then Mrs. Sergey calls Gabriel, saying that it worked, meaning that she is working with Gabriel. And they both make alliance rings, which they're like phones, but you don't actually have to do anything. You just have to say it. But what they don't know is that it can track. Gabriel is tracking people. So after that, what ends up happening is Gabriel and Lila, not Gabriel and Lila, Adrian and Lila were both used and digitalized to make the ad. And Gabriel tells Adrian that his model career ends forever. And then the episode ends. But after credit scene where Dusu and Felix see each other, and that Amelie lied about, she did know where he was. And Felix tells Dusa that he is more than her holder. And next episode is Destruction. So this episode was pretty interesting. Gabriel tries to force the Kwamis to know who Ladybug and Cat Noir are. And so what he ends up doing is teleports to Ladybug's house, or Marinette's house, so that way he can get a key to get a clue. And so Marinette gives him the clue, and Gabriel threatens Marinette to give him what he needs, otherwise he would venom her. Now, here's what I'm gonna say, dude. Is it really necessary? Honestly, do you need to paralyze somebody just to get what you want? Like, dang, you act like it's a life-threatening thing. Like, honestly. And then, so Marinette gives him the key, and so Alia comes in the room and she films Monarch, and he destroys her phone. After that, which is censorship, and then he teleports using Voyage to different locations like the ice skating rink, and then the Grevin Museum, finding keys, and then he goes to the Grevin Museum and goes to the statue of Cat Noir, which is actually Cat Noir, and then and Ladybug's also there and uses her lucky charm and ties him up, and then Cat Noir threatens Monarch to stand still and don't say anything, otherwise he would cataclysm him. And what he ends up doing is making Cat Noir cataclysm his arm. Now, here's what I'm going to say about this. Gabriel was that really the best solution? Like, I get that he didn't want to give back the Miraculous, but he could have just sacrificed one or two. He didn't have to completely just do it like that. Because he could have gone out a different way. But I mean, the thing is, he had 100% coming to him. So he ends up unifying Kalki and using Voyage to escape again. And the Cat Noir Cataclysm stays permanent to Gabriel. And so, which it's affecting him. And then after that, Gabriel makes rings. And also, Ladybug makes flashbacks of what the idea of her plan was, even though it failed. And then Gabriel ends up liking the Miraculous rings, which he uses for the alliances, so that way he can give other people powers, and also so he doesn't have to use too many powers, because using too many Miraculous powers at once can make you lose your alliance. And he notices he can use 6 powers at once, but not anymore. So that's what he ends up doing. And then that's the end of Destruction. Now, the next episode is Jubilation, where this one uses the Pig Miraculous, or Pigella's power, rather. And so it starts off with Marinette working out, jogging. She sees the Alliance ad, and then we see Mr. Damocles trying to save a cat, but ends up almost putting himself in danger. Then a girl by the name of Sokolin, who's dressed up as Ladybug, saves him. And then Marinette pays a visit to Sokolin, which is actually a new character. And then she ends up, and also she actually also looks just like Marinette in a way. She ends up she goes going for paint, which is what Sokolin does. And she uses that to her advantage. And she tells Marinette about the Alliance Ring. And then what she ends up doing is she transforms into Ladybug because she had to stop this dragon thing. And then Gabriel gets recorded saying that a threshold was exceeded, that they were going over the distance that a regular human can do. And so what ends up happening is he ends up using that to his advantage, thinking that Sokolin. So then, after it's done, Ladybug or Marinette gives back the Alliance Ring, but she doesn't know what happened to her Alliance Ring and why she traveled so much. And so, Mr. Damocles, he gets akumatized after that, and Monarch tells him that Sokolin is Ladybug, even though she's not. And so he goes to Sokolin, and she records that she knows where his Akuma is, where it's in his mask. And Marinette transforms to save her. And he figures out that Sokolin isn't Ladybug, but can be used as bait to catch the real one. So Marinette and Adrien end up transforming the Ladybug in Cat Noir, and then they end up fighting off, but he uses the power of Gift, or Jubilation, which puts them into a dream and Gift. where they thought they married each other and stuff like that, but it was all just and there was plastic dolls and stuff, even though they looked like babies. Now, I feel like this episode was very creepy. I mean, I get that was the point of it, but it was weird. And so what ends up happening was, after the dream's over, and Marinette, or Ladybug tells Cat Noir that it was all just a dream, she ends up escaping the dream to, what ends up happening is Cat Noir almost ends up cataclysming Dark Owl, but just cataclysms the mask. And so what ends up happening is they capture Kuma, give her the magical charm, and after that, Suckling gives a talk to Ladybug, and Ladybug ends up telling Cat Noir how it was just a dream, and they were really sad about it. And then the next episode is Illusion. Now, this one is where they try to Marinette, Nino, Alia, and Adrian ends up causing Akuma by trying to humiliate Mr. or Gabriel, even though he's Monarch. So what he ends up doing is Lilas ends up spying on the group, making sure they're not plotting anything against them. So she ends up telling Gabriel that their next mission is him. So what he ends up doing is using so after he gets humiliated, he goes home, and Adrian goes in his room, and then he makes an illusion of himself getting akumatized into the Clicker and giving him the power of Voyage. And so what he ends up doing is taking his anger out on to Marinette, Adrian, Alia. And Marinette and Adrian end up, Marinette and Adrian end up transforming. Now, another thing, Nino reveals Alia's and his identity to Marinette and Adrian, even though they already knew. And how cruel it was of him to be trying to trigger Nakuma. But, and also, this ends up telling, and Gabriel, the real Gabriel, uses some of the different Miraculouses to get turns invisible using Venom and then the power of multiplication. And he ends up they not realizing that they used the real Akuma and stuff like that. So then what ends up happening after he's de-akumatized, even though he's not really or even akumatized, he fakes his own fall and then comes over there and comes in behind Ladybug. So then they bring him back home and gives the magical charm, I believe, and then after that, they give Nino a talk about how cruel it was, even though he thought he was helping, but they think they figured out the solution to the problem about their power, but they haven't. So, after that, Marinette and Adrian try to figure out what's the solution to this. And so after that, the episode ends with Gabriel not trying to punish Adrian, but he figuring out how to use the rings the right way. Which he thinks it was kind of clever in a way, but the thing is Gabriel does have limits, so he's going to have to do that. And use the power the right way. Anyway, I think this is the end of this episode. I just wanted to give my opinions and stuff. I think episode 2 was cool. We get to see the powers of the Miraculous to the supervillains. Now, episode 3, I feel like Gabriel deserved to be Cataclysm Loki. He was asking for it. Honestly, I think Gabriel in general is just asking for death at this point. He doesn't care who he kills or anything. And then episode 4 was pretty sad and interesting, but it was also creepy. And then episode 5 was just plain weird. But I still think they weren't bad episodes. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button down below. I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.